So here we have a 2012 Tesla Model S. They had a Roadster that they brought out that was actually used to help fund the production of this Tesla Model S. Now these S's came in different ranges. They had different battery sizes. This one here has the 85 kilowatt hour battery. And from what I can tell, it hasn't been replaced. It also has not had any work done on this car that I can tell, or that I could find any records of. Which goes to show that a 10-year-old electric car still on the road, still works perfectly, still rides great with the air suspension on this. I really couldn't find any downfalls to buying a 10-year-old car. The other thing is, this Tesla 2012, you got free supercharging for life, and it's on the car. It's not the person who bought the car. So it is transferable. So it's attached to this car, and we actually took it out, and I was able to charge this without having any type of Tesla account. That was pretty cool. That is another plus to buying an old Tesla. Now, there probably are some flaws. This was the first year that they produced these, but as for the body panels and stuff like that, most of them are lined up pretty well. There's a few places where the gap gets just a little bit bigger, but I haven't seen anything majorly wrong with these. And maybe because there's been so many references out there and videos out there about the build quality of Teslas recently, that maybe when these first ones came out, they were making sure that they came out and looked great. But, you know, I don't know how their quality control is. But what I can tell you is, I would have no problem putting a 10-year-old Tesla in this garage right here behind me. So let's take a look at this car, and we'll look at some of the differences that you might see in your 2022s versus these 2012s. So one thing that we do know is that the front fascia of this car was actually changed. I think it was right around 2016. They actually changed this whole front of the car. But other than that, most of the body of the car and the body lines of the car are pretty much similar to what they are in 2022. They haven't had to change this car much. And the main reason for that was in 2012, this was something futuristic. It looked like an awesome, sleek sedan, and it still looks like that in 2022. So let's pop this hood, and you guys can tell me if it looks the same underneath here as what the 22s look like. Now they may be powered now, I believe that they are, but let's take a look at the size of this front. You can see how big that is and how deep that goes back inside there. I believe there was some netting or panel that went across this right here, but you can see that is pretty deep. That goes way back in there. You might even be able to put another sub in there if you wanted to. But it takes up most of the front of the car. So I was really impressed by that. It's really big. It looks pretty cool. It's not powered, but it is assisted, so that helps. This is the Monterey Blue, and I'm sure maybe we can get into some certain light where you can actually see that it's blue and not black. That's pretty cool. Been a pretty nasty weekend here. You can see it's pretty gray skies. It's been raining and stuff all weekend. So I did wash the car this morning, but it is still a little dirty. The only places where I was starting to notice maybe some paneling issues was this crack right here going up. Gets a little bit wider here, but nothing major. The hood looks pretty much the same all the way down. And I think it's the same on both sides. Might be a little bit tighter right here from the other side. So this side looks like it's got a little bit smaller gap, but nothing major. You can see how tight these are right here, and going up into this curve, it gets a little bit wider here, but I don't think that's any major concern. It's probably a normal build type of thing. I don't see anything major. Now you can see here, this one's got some condensation in the tail light. I think that was also something that's pretty common with these years. But other than that, I don't see any body issues. So one thing that we did find and hear about was, we heard that a lot of these door handles had to be replaced. And on this car, of course, you got the little car right here, and these work, they all work all the way around, and or at least they pop out. You can see this one opens up without any problem, but this one, it does not open this back door. It's actually won't open it, and we weren't sure, so we checked the other side. The other side works fine. If I reach around on the inside, it does open, and I can push it open, but as you can see, I can shut the door and nothing. So that handle is one that will need to be replaced. Just so I'll show you guys, I'll walk around to the other side and pull on this handle here. Opens the door right up, no problem. That is one issue that I have seen on this car. To me, it just looks like a 22, just the front is different. I don't think anybody would know the difference unless they knew what else to look for. We were really shocked at how big this is. If you guys haven't actually seen one of these in person, the back is huge. I think they probably could have pushed the seats back a little bit farther and gave a little bit more room to the passengers in the back, but this is massive back here. It's huge. And this part is really deep down here. It goes down really far. This is something definitely to consider if you are looking for an older electric car. Look for an old Tesla. 83,000 miles on it, and it's priced right at $30,000. So it's a really good price. We'll take a look at the inside real quick. So in here, you can see for a 10-year-old car, it's held up pretty well. You can see there's a few little nicking there, and this is all like soft material all the way around. This is a type of leather. I'm not sure it's real leather or not, but I believe it is. Everything in here looks really nice, is in really good condition. You see there's a decent amount of wear on this driver's seat, but there's no rips or tears. So that is a good sign. And then the passenger seat's the same way, got a little stretching from the leather coming in and out. But there's nothing that is torn up or looks really bad in here. I was really surprised. Even this lighter material, most of this is still in good condition. It's not real dirty. There's a couple places where sometimes you can see where somebody had put their hand to pull the visor down. It's a little dirty there. But most of this is really clean, looks really good. See your instrument panel there. This won't navigate me anywhere. So I can click, turn on chargers. I can select a charger, and all it does is gives me this. It does not actually give me any option to navigate to that charger. So it doesn't matter what I do. See, it'll search for restrooms. I can click on Steak and Shake, gives me telephone and a website button, but does not actually take me or offer me the choice to navigate there. Other than that, everything else works great in here. We haven't had any problem with heating up the cabin or anything like that. So all of that works great. Just the navigation, that 12-volt battery, the rear passenger door handle on the outside doesn't work, but everything else seems to be working pretty well. Not a big fan of these tiny little visors. They don't really seem to help that much. So I don't know if they're still the same in the 22s. You guys make sure you let me know down in the comments. But as you can see, everything looks really good. Everything works just like it should, drives like it should. Go take a look at the back. Here's the back, and you see everything looks good back here. It looks like they probably didn't have many people sitting in the back here. because all of this looks really, really good. This all looks almost like new back here. This is really nice. So I would say that this was just probably a couple, probably didn't have kids, or if they did, I had older kids, but didn't have them in here very often because it looks like new. Well, there you go. You got a 10-year-old Tesla. 265-mile range is what it's rated. When we've charged it up, we've been getting anywhere between 230 to 240. But we also don't know how the people were driving before us. We had some not so great weather. It's been in the 40s. It's been kind of rainy. So a lot of that has to do with the efficiency of the vehicle. If it was a 60 or 70 degree day, I don't have any doubt that this thing probably would still be getting around 250 miles of range. 10 years, if it loses 15 or 20 miles of range, that's about normal. 10% battery degradation would be about normal, maybe 15% over 10 years. But these cars just don't stop. The batteries just don't stop working like a lot of people seem to want to think. I would love to add it to my collection. We can't really afford to do that right now, but it would be something that I would probably look forward to in the future. 10-year-old cars are still great quality cars. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this. I just wanted to get this out, try one. Never had a Tesla before. Thought it would be pretty cool to check it out, drive it. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything that you guys really want to know, I couldn't really do a range test. I can use a Tesla supercharger. We just don't have one very close to us. That would make sense to do that. And I'm going to have to go hit a destination charger at a hotel just to be able to take this back to the dealership. So, but I probably can borrow it again if there is something that think is really important that people want to know or want to see. I hope you enjoyed seeing this old 10-year-old Tesla still out on the road, still driving great. I actually have really enjoyed driving it this weekend.